What is up guys, and welcome to a new series where I use money making guides from the OSRS Wiki. If you guys enjoy this idea, I'll definitely make more and try to run through every single one of these on the list, no matter how ridiculous they might be. I'll be trying and testing out these money makers to see how accurate they are so you don't have to. Let's get into the video. So for this video we got another suggestion that got a lot of likes. So for this one it'll be mining Basalt. And this is actually a pretty interesting one because I don't think I've actually done this since the quest was released, and even when it was released, I didn't stay here very long. I believe I stayed here simply to gather the salt that is in the same area as the basalt, and I only gathered what was needed for the fires that are around RuneScape. So for this moneymaker, you will need to have completed the quest making friends with my arm, and of course you'll need a ruin or dragon pickaxe, basically the best pickaxe that you have. There was also recently an update where crystal tools do not use up charges unless they're actually giving you a benefit. So just to test it out, I came here early and I wanted to see if this would use up some of the charges in my crystal pickaxe. Because if it did, I would have just bought a regular dragon pickaxe so I wouldn't waste any on these basalt rocks. Luckily though, they did not use any charges at all, so I was able to use my crystal pick. And another change to this items was that after you use all your charges, you no longer have a useless item. You can still use it and it'll act as a dragon pickaxe simply with basically a crystal ornament kit on it. Before the update, whenever you ran out of crystal charges, the item became unusable and you had basically two choices. You could fill it up with more crystal shards, or you could just dismantle it and get the crystal tool seed back, as well as the dragon pickaxe. Now again, I wouldn't recommend dismantling the tool unless you've used all of the crystal shards in the tool, because you do lose all the shards that you had in there at the time of dismantling. So now we can go ahead and jump into the gear setup. As always, I am bringing my prospector gear, and of course I'm bringing the Varrock plate body 4, which acts as a prospector's top. And the reason I'm bringing this is it just gives you a little bit extra XP, but the outfit is completely not necessary because the amount of mining XP you get from doing this method is not very much, so it has very little effect, but if you have it, bring it, it doesn't hurt. The only really important thing that you should be bringing to this moneymaker is the pickaxe, and the wiki says you can bring a ruin or dragon pickaxe. I'm not sure if there's any difference to using any of them, but just bring the best pickaxe that you have. And if you have a crystal one, don't worry about losing charges because we already checked to make sure that you don't waste charges on the basalt rocks. Now, when you see me doing the moneymaker, I will have other pieces of gear such as a glory and my superior gloves. That was just to test out to see if they had any effect, but it turns out they didn't. So again, the only thing you really need is the pickaxe and the prospector's outfit if you have it. Now we can talk about how to get to the area where you will be mining basalt. I use an icy basalt to quickly get to the spot. It takes you here to this herb patch here on Trollweiss, or Trollweiss, I don't even know how you pronounce it. But yeah, so it brings you here to this spot, and if you don't use it, I guess you could take a ship from Relica, but the icy basalt is really cheap in the GE, so I would just recommend buying that instead. It's a lot faster than going to Relica and then taking a boat. But once you get here, you go over that little shortcut, and you can follow the path that I'm taking. It's this middle area where you actually, I believe, fight the last boss in the quest of making friends with my arm. And in that area is also where you will be noting the basalt. Luckily there is an NPC here who will note all of your basalt for free, no extra charge, so you don't have to worry about bringing any extra coins. And the name of this NPC is Snowflake. But yeah, once you make it to this middle area, you can descend the stairs here, and you will make it to the spot where you will be spending most of your time mining basalt. Now there's a bunch of different colors down here. The ones that we're going to be mining is going to be the black ones. There's red, blue, and green. Those are salts, which I guess you could do, but that's not the moneymaker we're trying out. The one that we're here for is simply the basalts, and the basalt is used to make the teleports. We used one of the possible teleports that you can make with the basalt, which was the icy basalt, and that brought us to this area. The other teleport is the stony basalt, and that will take you to the top of another herb patch. I believe that one is in Trollheim. Now, a cool thing about this moneymaker is that it is fairly AFK. The mines here are not crowded, at least whenever I came here. I guess it really depends on what world you go to, but I'm pretty sure it won't be hard to find an open world. When this area first came out, I think it was a lot more packed simply because the quest had just come out and it was a new area, but also because I believe mining basalt was actually a really good moneymaker at the time. Now, as for how AFK this method is, the wiki does compare it to Motherlode Mine, so it is a pretty chill method. And these rocks that you see me mining, I just alternate between those two because they respawn pretty quickly. So there really won't be a reason for you to use more than these 2 rocks that I'm using right here. Now, as for how much basalt you get from each one, it varies. You can very well get a full inventory from just 1 rock, or you could just get 1 basalt before it depletes. Like the rest of this entire game, it is totally RNG. Now, as for the rest of these rocks that you see here with all these nice pretty colors, this is just salt that you can mine. Basically, the salt is used for the teleports. You mix it with the basalt that we're mining here and it gives you the stony and icy teleports. It is also used in some of the fires that provide various effects throughout RuneScape. One of my favorites being the God Wars Dungeon Fire, which basically makes it to where you don't take any damage and you don't get any stat reduction on your way to God Wars. So I would definitely say that it's worth looking up what fires you can make and going ahead and lighting all of them, or at least the ones that you have the requirements for. It was pretty crazy coming back to this spot when I used the icy basalt. When the quest first came out, I did use those teleports very heavily because, well, I was doing farm runs and they are very helpful since they teleport you directly next to an herb patch. But I really haven't been doing a lot of farming as of late since I'm maxed, and the only farming that I did do post-max was seaweed to go for the farming pet, but I quickly stopped doing that. I just got lazy. But I'm sure that once Twisted League is over, I will get back to the farming grind. Well, I say that I'll get back to it. We'll see how it goes, but I really want that farming pet. It looks really cool. As for how enjoyable this moneymaker is, anytime it's an AFK moneymaker, I'm having a good time. Anytime that I can watch YouTube videos on the side or Netflix or whatever, it's a good time. And honestly, the amount of money that you make from doing this moneymaker for the amount of effort that you have to put into it, I'd say is pretty darn good. And I'll also say that this suggestion couldn't have come at a better time with the whole crystal tool pickaxe update. I mean, I don't even know if this place used the charges before the update. It might have, it might have not, I'm not sure. But it is good seeing that none of the charges get used up here, so I can use my crystal pickaxe with no consequences. I just want to take this time to thank all the support that I've been getting on these past money making videos that I've been doing. The support is just insane, and as of making this video, we are very close to 1,000 subscribers, and that is just, it's crazy. I can't believe it. Doesn't seem real. But again, thank you for all the support. I really appreciate it. Keep sending in your money makers, and I will get to them ASAP, as always. It's always fun going through the list and deciding what moneymaker I'm gonna do next, but with this one, it was a no-brainer because I saw how many likes it had on it, and that is by far the most likes that we've had on any comment in any of our videos. I think the one before that was actually the Nature Ruin video, and that one had like 4 or 5 likes on it, so it was a huge step up and I definitely had to do it. But with all that being said, we are approaching the end of the 1 hour of mining basalt, and again, requirements wise, you do need to have completed that quest, and of course you have to have the proper mining level, which is level 72. And again, the only gear you need is the pickaxe and the prospector's gear if you have it. But again, it's not a huge XP boost. I believe each basalt gives you 5 XP, and then when you wear the suit, every other piece of basalt will give you that 6 XP. So it's not a huge difference. I'll show you what the XP rates was at the end and how much money we made. But yeah, with that being said, we have reached the end of mining basalt, and as you can see here, we got a pretty healthy amount, definitely over what the wiki said, and now we can go ahead and note this last inventory of basalt that we have. And with this last inventory being noted, you can see that we got a total of 838 basalt from 1 hour, which equates to about a little over 1 mil. Definitely not a bad moneymaker for the amount of effort that you have to put in. Anytime we get over a mil, I'd say that's a decent moneymaker. And especially with it being as AFK as it was pretty good. I'm just going to go ahead and put them in for market price, and as you can see here, a good chunk of them sold instantly. And it won't take long for the rest to sell as well. So after waiting just a little bit, the rest of them have come through, and we can collect our total profit. And it's the same as the price check, it is a little over 1 mil. The cool thing about this moneymaker is that no money was spent on anything since it was just a gathering moneymaker. Unless you want to count the icy basalt that I used, which is worth like 1500 GP, if even that. So if you want to add that to the profit calculation, you can, but I'm going to leave it out. And since I'm leaving that out, it makes the next screen so much easier because we don't have to subtract or do any of that complicated math. We can just have our nice flat profit of 1,017,332 GP. We also managed to get 4,274 mining XP. And again, we were able to achieve this XP rate because of the prospector's outfit that we had, but again, it's not a huge difference because if we weren't wearing it, we would have gotten around 4,190 XP. So again, not a bad moneymaker, pretty AFK and decent profit. I just want to say thanks for checking out the video, guys. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and possibly a subscription. It means so much to me. Again, thank you for the crazy support that I've been getting. Almost at 1,000 subs. That is absolutely wild. Thank you so much, guys. And as always, I will catch you in the next video.